Everybody, it's Rick.
Hey!
How are you?
I'm well, thanks, man. How are you?
I'm well. How's the day going? How's the weekend been going?
Oh, quite pleasant, thank
Yep,
you.
yep.
Yep.
And how do you feel your art, your walls coming along?
I was happy to see it this morning. I think that's a good sign.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know, a couple more hours, maybe
Yep.
3 or 4 more hours, and I think it'll be done.
I feel like it'd be hard sometimes, especially like a bigger project over a couple of days when you come in on the third day and sort of look at it and go, oh.
No, I like the small ones. I like the 2 to 3 day ones that you can just kind of get in and knock out. The ones that stretch over 2 to 3 weeks, they're the testing ones.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause even like yesterday, you were trialing colors and you had like that ability to just swap between them, which is really cool.
Yeah. Which is also kind of become a bad habit of mine. Just arrive, mix the first set of colors, paint a few sections in, and then realize, I really don't like that at all.
Yep.
Which can be quite time consuming when you scale it up to, a 2-story building. And I have to, use another 4 liters of paint. Bad habit.
Crazy. Do you think that's sort of derived from, because you do signage outside of your mural work? Do you think like sort of having that, because do you work digitally a lot with that?
Yeah, so most of the work that I do, like up until recently, is just fully resolved before I actually arrive on site, whether it's, to present to a client or whether it's my own project. I'm in the habit of, I'm working on an iPad with Procreate, which is awesome, and just having it completely resolved before I get there.
You've got that ability to like trial all the colours together in the full form.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where that sort of...
Yeah, this is different though for me. Like I arrived yesterday with nothing planned. I grabbed 5 buckets of paint from the studio on Friday evening, and essentially I've just been playing, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah. We were talking yesterday sort of just about your creative process this weekend and how you've sort of come and sort of developed your idea for your wall. Did you want to speak a little bit just about that creative process?
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
I can. So I guess if you're seeing my work for the first time, you're seeing like my recent work, you're seeing big blocks of colour, like some abstract forms, some geometric forms, and potentially some line work or something like that. So this is the mural work that I've been doing recently. That's initially it was a precursor to the studio work that I've did for the last, actually coming into this year, I spent 3 months in the studio working on a show at the third quarter, and that happened just before all the coronavirus stuff. So it was actually the last show open to the public at the gallery before the virus lockdowns. So all of that work was working with gold leaf on glass, which is a traditional sign writing medium, and looking at consumer waste and kind of abstracting forms of consumer waste. And there was a couple of typographic pieces in that as well, but it was mostly just minimal abstract stuff. And so the mural stuff that I'm doing is kind of an extension of that now. So it kind of, it doesn't have the conceptual depth because of the materiality of gold leaf, like as a mineral commodity, but the mural stuff's just fun, and I just really like playing with big planes of color and sharp lines, and a few years back I was into doing texture in like typographic pieces, and I still do that for commercial work if it's necessary, but I'm really enjoying just like solid color, just getting the composition right, and noticing how different colors work next to each other, and like what works, what doesn't, how they interact, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so interesting seeing sort of like the evolution of everyone's sort of styles, and sort of like the ebb and flow between like sort of like they get sick of one style or whatever and sort of just switch it up completely and still like have that sort of those it's like almost little traits, like your sharp lines and everything have really like carried through.
It's really refreshing, to be able to drop one aspect of it and then pick it up again later. I dropped typography in my large scale work for the last probably year nearly, and I decided when I got here this morning that I was going to add in some lettering.
Yep.
So I'm actually referencing like a plastic marshmallow packet, which is the first thing I pulled out of a bin.
Yep.
And that's informing the abstract forms on this work. And you know, I'm using 3 colours basically, variations of those colours. And this morning I got there and I was like, oh, it really kind of lends itself to a typographic element, and I've been really enjoying it. Except I just made the classic mistake of leaving a letter out of one of the words I was painting.
Oh no!
Classic signwriter mistake.
Yep.
Yeah. You get to the end of the word and it's like,
that looks funny.
Yeah.
I think I do that just when I'm writing like notes or whatever. Like I'll just write and I'm like trying to read it back. And
yeah. Easy trap to fall into when you're rushing things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What sort of do you have any sort of advice or like maybe some decisions you made earlier in your sort of journey as an artist that maybe like someone who's trying to up and come and become an artist or do more, or maybe even try and get into the mural work? Do you have any sort of advice that you could give them?
Yeah, you kind of I think first and foremost you've got to be passionate about it. You know, you've got to do the work that you actually want to do. I've been caught a few times with saying yes to a job that, you know, I didn't necessarily align with my style or my interests or values, in fact, and then having other clients approach for that work. So I would say, like, pursue the style of work that you want to do, and then just create your own opportunities to make that work, whether it's, you know, painting a wall in your house and documenting it, or if you know someone with a store or a venue, if there's an opportunity to paint something there. Really just kind of creating those opportunities if they're not being presented to you immediately, which, you know, they very rarely are unless you're very fortunate. I think that's a pretty important part.
That's great advice. And I think people get really caught up on sort of like the technical sort of like, I don't know what I'm going to paint, are people going to like it, and sort of stuff, and get lost and sort of stray off that sort of passionate drive. And then I think that, and especially with work like corporate work or commission sort of stuff, where when you sort of start to stray away from that passion, you're not going to make something that you like. And I think you can really tell, and it sort of degrades the quality of the art as well.
Totally, because your heart's not in it.
Yeah, exactly. and then you've got the clients who aren't happy as well. And I think that that speaks to all facets of art. That's great advice.
It took me a little while to, I don't know, just kind of realise that. I guess I worked as a commercial sign writer for just subcontracting, and when I was doing my apprenticeship, and I just kind of had to do the work that was presented to me, and which was at that time, you know, doing vehicle wraps and putting stickers on windows and stuff that really just got a bit old after I did that for nearly 10 years. And it was just like, I just really want to keep painting and honing in on that. And so I just left that work completely, and then started working with Emily Devers. So we had a studio called Frank and Mimi, and essentially Em mentored me as an artist through that, through the 8 years that we worked together full time. And hopefully I passed on some trade tips to her or something. But it took me a while to realise, and it's only been in the last year or so that I've actually been seeking out those kind of self-funded, you know, opportunities to create large-scale work, because I'm trying to establish this new aesthetic and this new direction, I suppose.
It's inspiring to know that you sort of like that. It's never too late. Sort of like after 10 years in a you know, a stable job, sort of it'd be hard to sort of make that decision. But like it's good to hear that, like, if someone is in a similar position, there's hope that it's all going to work out.
It was really valuable, you know. I think in any experience, in any role, there's things to be learnt, and things to take away from it. Like working as a tradesperson for so long really gave me a good sense of how to, I guess, a good work, what's the term I'm looking for?
Ethic?
work ethic.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Can't even remember it now. Can't be that well ingrained. A good work ethic and just an understanding of how to work at scale. So like,
Yep.
you know, some of the first large scale jobs that Em and I did together when we first started Frank and Mimi were, to me, just felt really comfortable and really natural because I'd been doing that stuff commercially for years already.
Yeah.
Where for her it was the first time working on anything larger than a large canvas kind of thing.
Yep.
So that was a really nice transition between, coming from that background. But it doesn't matter what you do. I think there's always positive takeaways to be found.
Yeah, and I guess it's always important to know what you don't like just as much as what you do like.
Absolutely.
And, so like having that experience of doing stuff that you don't like is just as valuable as finding out what you do like. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Does if anyone watching on Twitch has questions as well, please ask away.
We have some Twitch questions.
So,
Krusik Sosdova, what are your favourite colours to pair together or work with in general?
That's a good question.
I'm always pretty drawn towards a subdued palette, so I do like, I don't know, I don't like really vivid colours generally, and every time I paint with really vivid colours, I stand back and it grinds me. I did it yesterday. I thought that things were feeling a bit bland, and I put a really bright turquoise on there, and then within 20 minutes I was painting over it just because it was not feeling good. And I also had some good feedback from some of the other artists who really liked the other colours. But I don't know, I'm always drawn towards blues, purples, I guess cooler colours, but I'm not much for red, but I do like some like kind of warm, mauves and pinks and even warm purples.
The piece that you're working on at the moment is very sort of pastel-y, almost, or like that sort of muted little bit.
But it relies on contrast as well.
Yeah.
Like what I've found with this style of work is that it really heavily relies on really high contrast, and it's the same with sign writing. A legible sign needs to have high contrast to be able to be read from across the road or whatever the case. This style of work, like the ones that I've done that haven't had that, like if it has been a muted palette but it doesn't have the contrast, it just doesn't have the strength or the integrity. To me, it feels that way anyway.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. It's the same with film as well. Like having that contrast in light. Like I mean, it's a stylistic choice as well. Like I think not having contrast has its place. But I tend to lean towards sort of contrast.
Yeah, it depends what you're trying to achieve, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have another question from Twitch. Does your body ink reflect your evolution and growth as a street artist?
That's interesting.
Great question. I've actually never classed myself as a street artist. I came from a trade background, and I've done a lot of commercial mural work and like hand-painted sign writing, and so I kind of skipped the whole graffiti street art evolution that a lot of these other people are going through or have been through. But yeah, I would say I've collected tattoos over the years, over probably like nearly 15 years now, just from different places around the world or different friends that have got into tattooing. So, each one I can actually pinpoint a time and a place and an experience rather than, like that's some of them are a bit, I don't know if I get the same thing again, but that's okay. Like there's an attachment to a memory, and I think that's nice as a part of a story.
Yeah. Is there like any specific tattoos that you've gotten recently that sort of reflect that change over from, the 10 years doing something you weren't passionate about to, did you? Nothing
specific to that. Yeah. The most recent is one on my leg from when I was in India, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a really nice experience. I'd spent a month with a yoga teacher over there that he's incredible. He's an Australian guy, and at the end of it, I was like, I should get tattooed while I'm here, just as something to take with me. And I ended up finding this incredible tattooer who was like a 15-minute scooter ride down the coast.
Wow.
And like I've been following his work, and he's become one of the most established artists in India now, which is incredible, and his work's beautiful. And then I've got a couple of others that I got when I was in New Jersey, I don't know, 2 years ago again, that were an exchange. I went in to get tattooed by a tattooer whose work I've been following for a while.
Yep.
And during the first tattoo, we were having a conversation about, you know, life.
Yep.
And he was asking what I get up to, and I was like, I'm, you know, this and that. He was like, oh, do you want to paint the front of the store as an exchange?
Wow.
And so I ended up painting the windows on his store, and came in the next day, and he tattooed me again and gifted me with a book of his that is just an incredibly beautiful publication of all his paintings.
Yep.
And just exchanges like that are really lovely. You know, it's a creative exchange rather than a monetary exchange.
Yeah, I love that story so much. Like it's so cool to sort of have that experience of bonding over like a similar, like, you know, that visual art style, but then to recognize it's almost like recognizing a need as well, because like he obviously found out that you were keen to sort of put your work out there, and he had the opportunity to provide that. And sort of like it's really nice to have. And
he offered it without even seeing my work.
Yeah,
which I found was strange. Like, it could have been some janky lettering there. But yeah, he had faith. So
yeah, I guess he must have picked that up just from talking with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it travels? I think it's probably already know the answer to it, but like traveling's inspired your work, especially like the more creative passion projects. Yeah,
to a degree. There's a lot of great hand painted signage in India, like really cool, and a lot of signs are still hand painted over there. Yeah, like I went past a few little hotspots where there was like half a dozen guys just painting trucks with, you know, beautifully decorative stuff just on the side of the road. Yeah. And I'm like at the window of the bus, like, I want to get out and talk to these guys, but we were on the way through, so I couldn't. But yeah, just looking at, you know, I guess different contexts and environments and how things sit within a space. I'm really, I don't know, as you might notice where I'm working down here, rather than just painting the 2 walls I was allotted, I was like, can I extend it out here and can I cross it over to this wall? I'm interested in like thinking about it as a space, and not just as a wall or as a piece.
Yeah, Jordash downstairs on the bottom floor, he works very similarly. He'll come in and just sort of sit and look at his wall for a while. Yeah. And then like free thinking sort of like comes in without a plan and kind of lets the wall almost speak to him a bit. Yeah, and it sounds like you sort of do a similar thing with the space. Yeah. And everything we'll have done this weekend. Yeah. Which is super interesting.
Yeah, I think it's important to think about that when you're painting large scale. Context is really important. Yeah. Like, how's it going to be experienced by the viewer or by the people that are commissioning it or anything like that?
Yeah, because you're painting the foyer of the 3rd floor, so you know people are going to be moving in and out as they come into work. So it is an experiential thing. Yeah, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Question from Twitch: what would be your dream location to do some art in?
I honestly don't have a dream location. I think it's more about the actual work itself. I've been really fortunate to travel to paint. I've done seawalls activations in New Zealand and in California and in Cairns. I've done other activations in Hawaii with Temple Children, who's they're a similar outfit with a very environmental focus. So it's about creating public art, mural art that has a specific focus on ocean conservation in the case of seawalls, or Temple Children was more about looking at food production and food sustainability on the big island of Hawaii. So that was a really, really nice project. So for me, it's less about like, you know, actually going to a dream spot to paint, but thinking about, again, the context and the content and concept of the work.
I guess maybe better question might be, do you have like a dream project sort of, or like you're saying, like something for a cause, like if there was a collaboration that you could, you know, organize right now, the dream sort of collaboration that...
I don't know. I just kind of take it project by project. I don't tend to. I've never been a big, you know, one for like big dreams or anything like that. I just enjoy kind of
moving
you know,
along, kind of just like traveling down the road a bit.
To be entirely cliched, the journey rather than, you know, the goal. Like I'm not driven to get anywhere specifically. It's more about the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're running out of time a little bit now, but we've been getting everyone to sort of sign off or do a little art piece on the wall, just as a little memento, a little way of capturing the event. So yeah, if you've got 2 pens there, and if you want to chuck it maybe somewhere in the middle, not too high, sort of in this general vicinity, fill in the gaps a bit. Awesome.
Oh.
Oh, we're outlining.
Almost applauded too soon.
There you go.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for chatting.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.